Hello, 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 everyone. Good morning and welcome back. I'm Sandra J, and I have another declaration for you to consider for this week. Well, first, let me start with this. If you are here for the first time, please subscribe, please like, and please share with a friend. I would greatly appreciate it. So, my declaration for today is, I will guard my tongue and check my heart before I speak. I will be intentional and speak words that will edify and bring life to myself and to others. Now, this is a big one for all of us. Now, most of us have been taught to say what we think, right? And while this is important, I think that the message was missing some context. Yes, we should say what we think, but I also think we should think before we say. We were not taught to check the motivation of our hearts before we speak. So sometimes in our need to let our feelings out, if you will, and say what we think, we can harm others and sometimes harm ourselves. We don't consider whether or not our words will cause damage or whether or not our words will bring life and edify a person, right? We don't consider whether our words will build up or whether they will tear down. Now, there are a few scriptures that came to my mind when I was thinking about this subject, and this supports the declaration that I have for today. And I'm going to share them with you. So the first one is found in Proverbs chapter 18, verse 21. And it says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit." Now, we've heard this scripture many times, but this scripture actually explores the weight of our words and how they can affect others' lives and how they can affect our lives. Because I'm sure that there are some things that were said to you and to me over the years that still stay with us to this day. That's why words matter. Be it good or bad, they affect our lives. Now, the second scripture is found in Psalms 141, verse 3, and it says, "Set a guard over my mouth, Lord. Keep watch over the door of my lips." Now, this is a prayer. This is a prayer for wisdom and for restraint. We really do have to think before we speak. And it's not about being fake or it's not about being pretentious. It's just about practicing self-control and considering the outcome of our words. And finally, the third verse I found is found in Proverbs chapter 21, verse 23. And it says, "Those who guard their mouths and their tongues keep themselves from calamity." Another word for calamity, or a few words for calamity, is disaster. We keep ourselves from catastrophe and from danger. And this proverb is a warning about protecting ourselves through careful speech. Some things simply don't need to be said, especially when we consider the outcome of it and when we check the motivation of our hearts, right? So the bottom line is that our tongue or our mouth is another gift from God. God gave us this, and it is to be used to glorify Him, to bless others, and to edify ourselves. And here is another scripture that supports that statement. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 29 says, "Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up as fits the occasion." Sometimes some people say, read the room, right? That it may give grace to those who hear. In other words, let's let the communication be characterized by kindness, courtesy, compassion, and respect, rather than tearing others down. And we want to focus on building people up, resolving conflicts peacefully, and ensuring that both the content and the tone of our words are uplifting to others and to ourselves. Okay? Well, that is it for today. That's what I have for you. And I really hope that it blessed you and inspired you, and me as well. And it has inspired me to think before I speak and to consider the impact, consider the influence, and the weight that our words carry. So thank you for listening. I love you all. And God willing, I'll meet you back here next week with another one of my affirmations or declarations. And I hope you make this one yours for today. Bye-bye for now, and have a glorious week, everyone.